little chilly this morning, but we can handle this. I was talking to a couple people just intermittently throughout this last week about like following through with things, no matter how hard they are. If it's the right thing to do, you know, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's got to be done. And sometimes it's hard, you know. Sometimes I feel like, well, I know people don't believe me when I tell them, you know, that I'm going to do something. I told the guy next door, I'm going to take this fucking dog, you know. I told him and I warned him. And I don't know if he thought I was fucking joking, but I'm not somebody, I don't say things once. I say things numerous times. And, you know, I took the dog. Whether he wanted to fucking believe it or not that's up to him, you know. After my soon-to-be ex-girlfriend's mom died, after living with me for, I don't know, over a year and knowing me, the thought that I was going to leave these cats to go live somewhere and not have the ease and transportation of coming here and making sure these guys ate, you know, wasn't up for discussion. Like, I would have known, like, this dude's serious about his cats, you know, and it's non-negotiable. People just don't have that in the Constitution. But I don't know sometimes what people are thinking, you know. I kept telling people I was moving to Florida, you know, and they just, oh, you've been saying that for a while now, and I'm like, well, one day I'm gonna not be here, you know, like I'm leaving. Yeah, it's been 2 years. Well, when the time comes, I'm leaving, you know. And now the difference between me now and 6 years ago before I got sober is now I have stuff to lose. You know, like before, I would have probably smacked that dude with the dog. I would have probably hurt him and got arrested. And that's what your ego wants to do and your pride wants to do, but God doesn't operate like that, you know. It was hard to not make physical contact with him, you know. It was great restraint, you know. It was great restraint, you know, when I see what I did for my girlfriend and watch her, you know, I don't have a fucking pot to piss in, give her a place to live and rescue her from a shitty situation, but, you know, letting her make her own decisions that night that everything went down. You know, no one said that you had to leave forever. You made the decision to try to fuck me over and call the police, and made a decision to have a sexual relationship with someone, you know, and then try to get a restraining order. You made all those decisions. You're an adult, you know what I mean? You know, like not having that income coming in, well, wrong or right or whatever, the right thing to do is I've got to stop fucking enabling you, and you don't believe me, and you don't respect yourself, so you're not going to respect me, so you got to go, you know? You got to go. You're fucking with my peace and quiet and my fucking serenity. You got to go. And that's what I tell people. If you're real serious about soberness, you won't be going to meetings, meeting girls, and dating, and it's not a place to hook up with people, you know? If you're real serious about having a sober life, you've got to have the ability to live life on your own. You know, you can't have. I mean, yeah, you should have support and all of that if you can, but if you don't, you still have to march forward. You know, trying to find a place with having a dog is a lot more difficult, all because the landlord failed to fucking get rid of this dog, you know, before, you know, I had a chance to rescue him. They had over, you know, 6 months, a year. And I said, as a man, I can't, don't ever put me in a position where I feel like a fucking coward for not doing the right thing. I could not look down the back walkway towards his fence and see his big happy head stick over the fence. As a man, I couldn't do it anymore. You know what I mean? This isn't what I'm made of. I'm fucking taking the dog. You know? And it's not about like, oh, what a great person, you have great ethics and morals. It's like, no, it's just the fucking right thing to do. That's it. Because I'm not a great person. Yeah, I have a code that I try to live by, and that's part of it, but it's what you do as a human, as a man, you know, as a follower of Christ. If you're reading the Bible, you know, and, you know, not punching my landlord's son in the fucking face, you know, like a couple years ago I would have just smacked him, you know, like he's just a fucking he's a little whiny girl, you know, he's a living a lie, he's obviously bisexual and has all kinds of fucking problems, and it took me a while to figure out what the fuck was, you know, when anybody tries to confuse you with their aura or their personality, it's a deceitful spirit. And that shit comes from the devil. You know, anytime people are trying to, you know, that's why I you know, maybe I talk too much, or I'm an open book about stuff, or, you know, I talk about whatever, because I'm not, it's like I remember a boss wanted to fire me for using Kratom, and the one guy's like, well, just don't drink that shit in front of her. I said, bro, I'm not fucking living my life like that. You know what I mean? I don't care if I clear $800 a week. I don't care, you know, like I'm not, God didn't give us a spirit of fear. I'm not operating, you know, it's, you know, driving around on a bicycle looking for a place to live, not having a fucking moving truck, not, you know, like, this is the story of my life. Unfortunately, I've been through all this shit before, you know, it's annoying, but I'm not, like, scared of the process, you know, having, you know, all these cats to take care of, that has given me, that's given me the purpose and the direction and the spiritual compass to do what needs to be done. I couldn't imagine, you know, I've always been a compassionate individual. I've always been selfish with my addiction, you know. And this is who I am now that I'm sober. I'm not trying to, like, work my way into heaven, because you can't do that. You know, it's try to do the right thing and do the right thing, you know, whatever the consequences are. You know, I knew eventually what the fucking kicking her out was going to end up, you know, making me have to look for a place because I couldn't afford it without her. Well, them are the consequences, you know. I felt, and I still feel at the time, that was the right thing to do. You know, I couldn't have her living the way she was living. You give everybody an opportunity to do better, and that's what you get. You don't regret it. You know, I don't wake up in the morning and regret that. I wish that person was able to get their life together, you know, and I don't wish them any ill will, but, you know, this is the world we live in, you know. People are selfish, you know. Addiction is selfish, and I'm I'm not going to live like that.